Is that on?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's good.
Good time, Township 31, call this meeting to order. First order of business. Yeah.
No.
All right. Can't do minutes at this point.
No.
We move on to agenda item 3A, public comment. Members of the public want to comment anything this evening? No? We're good? Okay. 3D, agenda review?
Yes, let's see here, so we need to add ratify CBA after non-public. Number 9 needs to change to 3 items. 3E, consent add 1 for the bus stop. 3F, mini grant. And 8, so we will need to go into non-public.
Indeed.
Yes. And that's it.
Okay, agenda item 3C, Innovation Academy.
All right, so that's me. So we just, and Megan has a good year to help us. We just wanted to come over and give a little head talk about what we're doing, where we are in the position for Innovation Academy at this point. And part of our goal in Innovation Academy is also to expand understanding of inquiry-based learning throughout our whole district, and really the FAU. So looking at that, so part of that experience we decided we really have Megan come and talk a little bit about some of the different things she's been doing in her class. Megan is in Peggy Brockholm's social studies class this year, and Peggy is one of the teachers in Innovation Academy for next year. I think most of you were here for the description last year, we talked about it. At this point, we're moving forward with our plan for next year with a small group, same core group of teachers. There are 5 teachers, 1 from each of the core department areas, and then 1 from exceptional services. We are also, we were going to try to get the application process out before break, but we decided to hold back because we are meeting with our consultant that we've been working with, Larry Myatt, on January 8th for Professional Development Day. So we wanted to work with him a little bit just to make sure everything looks right before we rolled that out. And we have time to get the kids all set, getting them acclimated to the program, and then what it all means, and then all of the decision making about whether they want to be in it before program studies and all of the course selection happens. So we have time for that. But really, the key tonight is I wanted Megan to be able to come and just talk about really the difference in style, and she has the iCafe experience. So she's just going to talk to you guys about that. Megan is one of the 2 students who came and spoke to the entire SAU leadership team a couple weeks ago about a similar topic.
So we have been implementing this into our classroom over the past, almost semester, and I've found that personally it has been very beneficial. I've been able to learn about things that not only I'm interested in, but things that I can help teach the rest of my class, which is what the Ed Cafes are all about. So I don't know if everybody knows what those are, but we were given an essential question, and we were to look into it, go down whatever rabbit hole you are interested, bring it back, have 2 minutes to explain it to a little group that you're in, and then open it up to a discussion. And we would have a discussion with the group, and it was really interesting because we would switch around to different groups and hear what other students in the class were interested in. So there was a lot of communication, and it was getting to know other students in the class as well. So we were able to learn about how other students like to view the essential question and how they took it, and like what rabbit hole they went down. So personally, I did electroshock therapy, how that's developed over the 20th century, which is really interesting. Another student did like piercing, which it sounds interesting, but it she delved into how it started as a form of rebellion and how now it's seen as more of an art. There was one on the Salem witch trials. There was one on a Supreme Court case whether or not tomatoes were a fruit or a vegetable. And it was really interesting to see what other students were interested in, to be able to talk about it, to be able to learn about something that you really wouldn't learn about yourself. And we've done several projects like that, and our last project was summative number 5, and we watched a movie, Unbroken, and then we were to go and research the actual event, compare and contrast, and then present in whatever way you want that is not like a Google slide to the class. So that was really interesting to see how other students took that as well. And I personally really, really like it. I feel like there's not a whole lot that I would be missing from a traditional classroom where we would be reading in textbooks. It's structured in a way that you can learn what you're interested in, which is a way, like personally, I'm able to learn so much more and like remember things because it's what I'm interested in learning and it's not just like information being thrown at me. And with the structure of the essential question, you're not missing anything. It's guided learning. There's also the other layer of how Ms. Frostone likes to have conferences with us almost every class to talk about, you know, what are you doing, what can I help you with, and what do you want to see next time, like next project when it comes around. And I feel like that is it's really good because not only are we talking about what we're learning and how we feel about the classroom setup, but we're also getting a really good connection with our teacher as well, and I feel like she's definitely somebody in the school that I can go to if I need something, and Ms. Frostone should recommend her. So it's just a whole nother layer. Yeah.
Thank you.
Question? Go ahead.
I guess the first one would be obvious, or maybe I'm the only one in the room who doesn't know this. Who's Ms. Frostone? I mean, what course is this?
This is Honors U.S. History.
Honors U.S. History.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty good with that.
Okay. You were to, I'm a teacher, so I'm just gonna put that out there. But assuming that everybody else here are not teachers, how do you explain inquiry-based learning to them so that they can share that information with us?
I think that the way that inquiry-based learning, at least the way that it's being implemented in that classroom, it is very individual to students, which can be really beneficial individually and as a class for us all to grow, but also have a lot of individual growth, so that it's learning what you're interested in, but also being guided so that it is projects that you want to do and you're learning the things that you're interested in that also apply to the general topic.
Good job. Very good job.
Anyone else? Keith?
Yeah, I was at PACE board meeting 2 weeks ago, and they actually have some concerns about Innovation Academy, how it will impact students that may go to PACE. So that may be something that, I know, yeah, this came up the last time, and I don't know if they brought it up to you before.
No.
Has it? So this is something you might want to talk to Jorge.
Jorge and I are meeting about it.
Okay, yeah, so.
And part of the difference ends up being, like, there are some similar, kids in general, but being able to work with our students who really do want to stay, like, here as well.
Right.
So we can work around with our scheduling, the RCC and the AP courses, so that we run the gamut. I mean, Megan's in one of our honors classes, she'll be like honors track, doing all those awesome things. And we also have a bunch of kids who are working in some of our classes that really struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also part of this targeted group within.
They just, again, I'm not.
Is the concern that we be able to service those kids in-house as opposed to sending
Yeah,
out?
that's the concern, yes.
But, I mean,
I mean,
it's.
that's not really a concern for us, I mean,
No,
we don't have
I know,
to,
but, you know, we're
put out that money.
together, you know, and that's a large part of their, you know, student body, you know, that is a concern there, so.
And Jorge has shared that concern with Paul,
Okay.
and the two of them have talked about it.
Yeah.
We're not in competition.
Yeah, I just wanted to, since it was there, bring it along.
we have a duty to serve all of our students, and
Yeah.
to do that in-house, that's always preferable.
Right, yeah, but, yeah.
It's your real turn.
Yeah, I know, I could ask 45, but I'm not going to. Is it long-range, two questions, and then I'll stop. First question is it a long-range plan if the data supports it to implement this school?
So we have been looking at implementing inquiry-based learning, not as a general all classes 100% of the time, but really a push towards this is a model that is really working for students, so it's one of the tools that they can have in their toolbox. And in fact, we do have a group of teachers who are currently working outside of Innovation Academy in a PLC on inquiry-based learning. We just had our first big meeting last week.
I guess that'd be a great question.
There you go.
So therefore, if it's not something that we're working towards universally at PA, I mean, if the data supports that this is fundamentally a better way for students to learn and for achievement to be measured, I'm assuming that you have some sort of metrics designed that will, you know, you'll come back to the board 3 months, 6 months, whatever, this is what we're seeing, this is what we're doing, we think that this is, you know, something that's beneficial. If that's the case, then I would assume future boards may want to go in that direction 100%. If that's the case, what would happen with Innovation Academy? Does it just then become a prototype? And I guess I'm thinking long term because that is the way folks learn. And if that is such a great idea, why aren't we doing it universally?
Can I mind? So, I think that there are practices with inquiry-based learning, practices that we're talking in great depth about in, with our staff for Innovation Academy, that we certainly espouse throughout the school. It would be at greater levels of concentration in Innovation Academy, right? So that we're allocating a certain number of PD funds for targeted staff that are really getting some significant training on this. Because if it's done without that training, it can go off the rails pretty quickly, and then you're losing a lot of opportunity with students. And, you know, consequently, you're also getting a bad taste with staff, and then they, you know, can write it off for a number of years. So we want to model that with Innovation Academy, with staff, give them that training, and that, I think, in turn, will then model that kind of pedagogy for the rest of the school.
It'd be interesting to see, the answer. Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Shelley.
You can stay if you want, but you don't have to. I'll go 3D, gift donations.
We had a donation last night at our music concert. There was a 50-50 raffle in our second, third, and fourth grade, and I believe it was $220, but the 50-50 was $110, and gave it back to the music department. Great. Sweet gesture.
I don't think it's traditionally taken raffles.
No, we don't.
Oh, we should, but I don't think traditionally that's something we.
The reason why she's mentioning it
Is there sitting there?
those funds can no longer go into student activities
Okay.
with the donation, so it now becomes in the operating.
Okay. Now you open up a straight can of worms. So Susie over here, her drama music department raises $220. does her music department somehow reap the benefits of that $220?
Yes, so what we've done is we've set up a new fund, and we've deposited those dollars in it, and they can then expend those funds out of that. So it doesn't go necessarily to Fund One, we created a separate fund outside of Fund One, so that the revenue comes in and the expense comes out. So it is separated.
Okay.
And
But
it does roll from year to year.
They still have, okay,
Yes.
that rolls, so that money doesn't disappear on
It
that?
does not.
Okay. And your drama money stays with you and as it all should?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just a different way of
Sure.
financially.
We
keeping
okay?
track.
Said there's a learning curve.
But we are becoming financially sound in all directions.
Perfect, as long as it's fair.
It is fair.
Okay.
Exactly.
3, consent agenda.
Yes. We have, the bus stop requested come before you once before. At that point in time, Linda did not recommend the stop, but there has been a change in the bus route. So she has decided to recommend this after all. She's your board also.
I've got questions, but I think I'd let you guys
Go ahead.
take the first
No,
shot at it.
Yeah.
What are we trying to accomplish here?
I don't actually know the answer to that. I only know what's on the sheet.
'Cause it looks like students currently being picked up 3 houses down from his house on pink bus, but 5 minutes later, yellow bus goes by and you pick them up at the door.
Well, this came before you at another point in time.
Just like this?
Yeah, I think it's the same person, I think, and at that point in time it was denied, so I don't know if maybe there was an issue at that bus stop and they asked to move. I'm not quite sure, to be honest.
I personally would like to see a little bit more information.
Yeah.
A little bit more of an explanation. My knee jerk would be to deny this, but I don't know if I have enough information to.
Why are 2 buses going to that same location?
Well, it's Pembroke Street, one's probably going, the other end of town or something, yeah.
Why would we be stopping at this particular house?
That
I
was
mean, they're 2 different buses and they're 2 different routes.
Yeah, well, I couldn't, I just don't understand the change, I
Yeah.
don't get it. So,
Whatever you do.
preference, you guys wanna hear from Linda, a better explanation as to what's going on
More
here?
information is needed. I mean, quite frankly, it doesn't even say on this what school.
You know, it usually says the student, grade of the student, generally
I don't see
speaking.
any of that.
No, neither do I. So leave it status quo for now, and we'll deal with it at the next board meeting.
Do you need a motion to table or just?
I think we
So, I'm just getting it clear, it's the same, the buses are going in the same direction, they're possibly.
Yeah, that's kind of
One
how I read
bus
it.
gets there earlier, that the student does not currently take.
I was under the impression of the first bus that they're currently taking, but it's hard to say, Gene.
Well, it says yellow,
Pink bus
pink
has
bus
to
has been
transport.
transported where yellow bus was by 5 minutes earlier.
Oh, you're right, sorry.
So, what I guess it is I'm betting is the parent needs to leave earlier.
Or one is being, it sounds like the yellow bus stop is willing to stop at their house, pink bus will stop 3 houses later.
So is it just one of those, I want my child picked up at the door?
I don't know.
Okay,
You don't know?
okay, I mean,
It could be something.
yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
maybe, yeah.
and I could not possibly vote on this without more information.
Yeah, that'd be great. So let's
I
take
will
this
issue more
back,
information.
and we'll leave the status quo for now. Sorry.
No.
All right, 3F, mini grant selection. We got 1 application for mini grants, I'm gonna get to that maybe first. Anybody have a general idea why minimal interest?
Especially last year we had. some
There's 4 or 5 in last year. We did get 1 applicant in, it was late, from what I understand, but we did get 1 in. Renee Clark, had it.
Yep.
She's looking for, what she's looking for. commercial art photography rights. We use it to purchase a series of books, class set of books, paper and print. Does fit into the general thought that we had here.
I thought it was to buy additional unique purchases.
Stuff that we wouldn't normally fund.
Wouldn't we normally fund the class set of books, the teacher request?
I think this is, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit more about it. So this is for a new class, our young adult fiction class, and the direction that this class has gone in is in the development of an anthology of student works, and the class set of books would be other schools that have anthologies, and they would use these as models to develop their work, basically exemplars. So these aren't necessarily a class set of books that you get on Amazon, but they also feel like they would be important guiding marks for them to create their own.
If they're creating their own anthologies, don't they need supplies to create, with which to create their own anthologies?
I think that's why the printer is also in there. Right?
Collators, things like that. I mean, I'm just thinking that if you're doing that, if you're creating a lasting collection of work, the printer, this isn't gonna last very long, collated.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, do we have those functions here to the capacity that this course may need?
I don't have an answer for that. When I talked to Renee about it, I mean, one of the things that she had mentioned is, not using this kind of paper,
Right.
something of
Stop.
better quality.
Mm-hmm.
We send out, for our program of studies, for our incoming freshmen, they get a hard copy, and we send it out to a printer. And, because we want it to be more durable, and I don't know if that's something she'll look at, but, part of it is to see what these other anthologies have done for students.
Other thoughts? We'll make a motion to grant this grant.
I make a motion that we approve, Renee Tuckhead's request, or proposal, for our mini grant.
Second.
Any other questions, comments? All in favor?
Just looking at the phone, okay, there's more pages than there was.
Okay, board reports. Hi.
So, just before Thanksgiving break, we worked on a project. We spent 5 hours cutting out turkeys and cornucopias and writing every name of all of the students on all of them. And we put them up all over windows in the main lobby and just around the corner, and it was very well received. So we plan on doing that again with all of the names in a more winter theme with snowflakes and snowmen and similar wintry themes to try to continue to spread that community feel that we achieved pretty well, I thought, with the Thanksgiving theme ones. So today we visited advisories and handed out papers for them to start generating potential winter carnival themes. So that's Senate's busiest time of the month by far. It's coming up in just about 2 months in February. So we started asking for the preliminary thoughts on themes that could potentially be our final one that we think coming up in a couple of months. And then, as I talked to you guys before previously, we talked about the Spirit Days, and we have been implementing those already. We've had one PA Spirit Day on a Friday, and this coming Friday, a Tea Club that we work with for different kinds of projects throughout the year is doing a Christmas sweater day, and our themed day for that Friday is going to be a holiday sock day. People will be out here in their holiday sweaters and socks this Friday. And just the last thing we talked about was potentially doing our blood drive again that we've done for the past 2 years that I've been in Senate here at least. And that's coming up on April 17th. So we're starting to get the ball rolling, potentially doing that again for the 30th I've been here. I'm not sure how long we've been doing that before I was here. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Questions?
No, but congratulations on continuing the project.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Speaking for tech forum?
We were supposed to meet an hour and a half ago, and we were delayed, postponed, so,
Okay then.
I've got nothing.
Budget committee, who's sitting with,
Not me.
I'm sitting with Andy.
No, I can see it.
Obviously, nobody is sitting with Andy. Could we pull the, yeah, that pull, could we pull the roster, who's doing what? Is there someone who should be back up for Andy? I know it's not me.
I know that he,
Pretty
this
sure
last
it's not
one, I
April.
think, if it was this week, I
Was
think it
it?
was either this week or last week,
April, do you want me to
when the meeting was,
Do
and
you have-
I know he didn't attend. He did not attend
Yeah,
all
he's not,
that.
he's not attending this one,
He did-
this one, I believe, right? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Oh,
Tomorrow
there was,
night,
that's the one,
sewer,
yeah,
yeah, it's still
That's
town,
correct.
sewer, water,
tomorrow night, yeah.
ambulance, something like that.
But he was at the previous one.
It's, I think you went, Gene?
I did. So, that was on the 25th. Currently,
November 25th.
yeah, they have 55 students enrolled. They're budgeted for 47. They just received permission from DOE to increase enrollment to 80 students. So they won't do that all at once. It's gonna be a step process, I believe, is that how, see how it goes, add a few, add a few, add a few. But one of the things I did learn was that there's 33 students that come from the SAU are fully funded by the SAU. The other 22 coming from other sending districts are not. Zero except for one student coming from the Department of Education adequacy money comes in, they're spending $7,100 per student. So on each one of those students, those 22 students, they're losing approximately $5,000 plus or minus.
There was talk several years ago about Pace challenging that.
They're talking to a lawyer right now.
Okay, so that's still in the works.
Yeah.
Because I know they come to us searching for some assistance, and we felt that they kind of moved on their own for that, that they were kind of the one entity that.
Yeah, and I think one of the, moving forward with this too, something that they're looking for is, letters of support from the SAU and the districts for PACE. That's something to have in, the forward when they move forward with it. And they're looking at, MOUs between, I mean, there's already an MOU between the SAU and Pembroke and PACE, but now they're looking to move it forward to the sending districts, the other districts. But there's discussion of it being they can't have an MOU that may be in conflict with the one that they have with us. That aside, they're currently looking for a grant to pay off the building. Yeah, I mean, they're on top of it. The financial report was accepted, the assets and liabilities are well within, I mean, there's no concerns there. They have a heavy fundraising agenda, throughout the year, that everybody's involved with. Let's see. Innovation Academy. They also have an apprenticeship program through NHTI and the Department of Labor. So, kids can get job experience outside of PACE. They're also assigning each teacher on the block in the afternoon, in the morning and the afternoon, to track down students that may be behind in their studies, help catch up with missing work, encourage them to catch up. But all in all, everybody seemed like they're really all in on it and very involved. and they're also adding staff. Our teacher, social worker, I think that was part-time, does that sound right?
Yeah.
Something like that. A teacher coach, and hopefully a special ed teacher. So, that's pretty informative, and, I have no problem going again if they could make it, so.
Questions, Paul?
Is there any sort of data based on the number of students enrolled and the number of students who successfully complete the year? Just curious. I mean, I think it's very.
Look for retention.
Yeah,
rates, graduation rates.
Retention rates, graduation rates, recognizing that this is a group of students that may have more needs than typical students, what is the success rate of these students?
Oh, one of the other things they're doing, they have some space there that they're looking to rent out, and I believe it was like a furniture maker that they're looking to come in there. That will also almost act as maybe as a woodworking shop, class. For some of the students that they might be there too, so.
How big is the space?
I'm sorry?
How big is the space?
Oh, it's pretty good size.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's,
Classroom?
oh no, it's like a garage, like.
I was gonna say, it's like a makerspace.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, that's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a significant size.
Yeah, they thought they could rebuild it.
Mm-hmm. You guys, vehicles in and out of it.
Okay. School renovation, anybody know? I don't have any views on that, so I haven't heard anything.
They're meeting tonight.
They're meeting tonight? Okay. Are they here? Do they meet here?
No, they meet at the health.
I know.
So we're talking about, creating a survey and for interested parties, including instructional staff, support staff, the community, parents, to find out what kinds of things we should be considering for a potential expansion. Really trying to get teachers in January, parents in February, community members in March.
Makes sense before the summer break. Before you make the budget. Because I would anticipate this, when we get to before that, because this should probably come to the budget next year, potentially.
Good.
You might find that they need the space. That balloons unexpectedly this year. So. Okay, principal report, who'd like to start?
I will.
There we go.
So we had the state inspector come through, all the buildings actually, and very impressed. You wanna go, Pat?
No, I'm the MDC also.
Oh, sorry.
Jump it!
I had a panic attack when you both said names.
I swear. Yeah, as do I.
I'm sorry, Susie.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
I
Now we know what the bad apple is.
No, lots of worries, actually. Get back up.
So I'm sure Josh will go into it, but all three schools got rave reviews, and the inspector was very impressed with, how far our buildings have come, and I think that's in large part to Josh. We had a great music concert last night, holiday concert. There is nothing better than watching kindergartners burst with joy in front of their parents, but it was a really all the way through fourth grade. It was fantastic. Really proud of our report cards that went out this past week. Dancing, could testify to every subject had a narrative of what they did for the trimester, as well as a comment, a student comment that was really thorough about where the student's progress is, as well as grades. So the teachers worked really hard on that. It's an impressive report card. Gives a lot of information and you can really tell who the child is. And then we had parent conferences this last week. Those were very successful, so trucking along.
Excellent. Question three?
Never know, we merged two schools into one.
I have a question. With the more detailed report card, what's the response been from the parents?
Not much. I haven't gotten a lot. And I haven't had a faculty meeting with the staff yet to get any response, but again, you can have a parent.
I'm a satisfied customer. It's very detailed.
Right.
You know, the unified art stuff wasn't specific to my daughter necessarily, but it was very comprehensive about the pace and scope of the program. Very helpful.
Great. Well, each subject. So a really good picture.
Any questions? Who'd like to go next? Maybe.
We did our, I think, second annual clothes drive, that, proceeds go to Epilepsy Foundation and us. So we haven't got the total weight, but we had, almost 200 bags of clothes delivered to the school from the community. It's pretty amazing to see. And we get it by weight. Last year, I think this will be for the 6th grade trip, but we made $600-700 from it. It takes about a week. There's no nothing. People drop their stuff off, epilepsy comes, we throw it in the truck and away it goes. So it's kind of a double win for them and us. And it's kind of nice to clean out your closet. We also had conferences. You know, honestly, I've been tracking it for the last few years because of the way folks can access their toys now. Because we're, you know, with the high school, we're 24/7, so you just go in and see what you need to see. I'm concerned about attendance. And this year we had really good attendance, so that made me feel good. We were pretty strong in 5th and 6th grade, which is always typical, but we had a really nice turnout across the board. So that was nice to see so many folks coming out and talking about, you know, the kids, where the kids are at. For us, it's not a report card, it's a progress report. So it's a snapshot in time. And as we go forward, it will be, we'll do one more of those in March. We also were awarded a grant. We're a recipient of the Robotics Education Development Program. Our robotics coach applied for this grant. We just learned that we are a recipient of $6,691 to go towards a robotic club, to include registration and events, kits. It doesn't include laptops and 3D printers, which is kind of a shame, but so transportation, some T-shirts for kids, and some stipends for coaches. So that was exciting. We'll be able to probably purchase. We're borrowing a couple robots, we have a couple, and we're probably able to purchase 4 or 5, maybe 6 robots, which we haven't been able to in the past. So that's pretty exciting. We were pretty excited about that. We just have to, I think we're going to be looking for board approval at some point so we can spend that money. I don't know how it works, but more coming.
Questions for John?
Oh, I do have one other comment. Voting, if you noticed that the voting, it's changed, but we're first in the nation. So that really makes it a concern that I have with, we have school that day. Because we had, I think, originally on the
That's
Senate.
right, because the Secretary of State said so.
Right. Right.
We haven't really figured out a way to deal with that yet.
Well, it was actually brought up when we walked around with Josh with,
Department
Department of Ed.
Security issue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big
huge
concern.
security issue.
Well, I'm not sure quite what to do with it. I just think it's important that we have a conversation at some point.
Do we have an available PD? I mean, is there a way that we can manipulate PD data?
I know we tried that last year.
We do have one in March, but it's our SAU one
Right.
that we all have, so we haven't broached that subject.
I mean, when we.
There was a
spoke,
question
there's
if
a
that
question
was-
whether that's what we could use it for.
There wasn't a lot for that. There definitely is a concern being the presidential primary and the amount of people that will be coming.
That's pretty huge.
It's gonna be big.
And it's not, you know, obviously because it's the first, it's going to attract folks nationally, not just locals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we need to get that on the agenda.
we should
Well, that's
address
coming
that
up.
as quickly as possible.
That's coming up, we got a lot of time on that, really.
No,
This could be our last meeting in December.
you know,
Theoretically, we're meeting on the 15th, but I think we did cancel that. But no one's down tonight.
We count on it.
Stupid day off.
no,
We all three clear hours.
so you guys have already,
Well, we know we clear hours.
Okay,
That's not a
so-
problem. Yeah.
So if we shut it down for the day, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it may be the best,
no, but
cleanest option.
Yeah.
Right.
Looking at this, anybody can show up there too. I mean,
oh, yeah.
let alone, aside from the people that are gonna show up, you know, you can end up with a candidate there and media in tow. So.
The nature of
And
politics today, I hate to-
disgruntled,
Yeah, I
and that
hate
would be the key.
If you really can't segregate that.
Yeah,
Before there's a set of double doors we can segregate this way, but there's stuff to the left. And quite frankly, with that amount of people in the building, a set of doors doesn't justify safety for those
Right.
students.
Well, we have, you know, bus drop-off and pickups, we
Yeah.
have, you know, it's, you know, our staff park the PA usually, and, you know, they're gracious to help, but they don't have the room for us up there, so we have like 60 cars up here. I mean, you know, it's,
The whole upper circle becomes handicapped.
you know, that's.
So visitors, say you had to take your kid
So
out
just
of
to
school.
hang out there. And safety was on. Would you, what would you lean towards, like, doing professional PD day, just make a PD day?
I don't know what everybody else thinks, right? We're
Just,
always looking
just
for
the
that.
TRS,
No,
I think we'd have to do it.
I think you'd have to,
We'd have to, it's
shut down
because
this
it's,
wide.
because if you have teachers in that school going to, there'd be a lot of confusion.
I think we'll start.
For parents who have, are you talking about just one school shutting down for the day, CRS?
I guess that was my, general line of conversation.
I think PA would be affected as well due to the traffic, due to the people. People would start parking here and walking across because the parking lots could be filled. I truly would see it as a
District-wide.
issue.
If we're gonna shut down TRS and
I think
PA,
whatever we
just do
do.
it district-wide.
it should be district-wide. And I think also to ensure that parents have enough notification, we should make a decision
Now,
I would recommend.
we're almost,
But I mean,
could be
I
almost a
certainly
month
wanna
before
know-
we meet again.
Yeah, I mean, by then it's January.
We'll be in January.
Yeah, and that's just too late.
So this is a PD day, we all in agreement?
Well, that's why I asked
We're
TV
always
originally,
looking for
but
a
if you already have a
Instead of
dedicated,
just shutting it down completely, make a PD day, have the teachers, show up.
Well, the safety concern is around students.
Well,
The adults, we can deal with that.
are we allowed to? Contractually, can we give them another PD day? We force them into another PD day?
It's a 185-day contract.
Doesn't matter what, we all know.
They do.
Also
Regardless
be
of what we do with
careful,
them.
I'd also be careful how many days we give us, I don't know when that's gonna be up.
We did 2 blizzard bags already, so we haven't lost, well, we lost 8 days, right?
We lost it one
We lost
day.
1 day.
Like, you know, I do think, it would be important to have a conversation, I think, with the teachers.
Do we want to, at least tentatively approve the PD day?
February 11th, so that, I mean, be less than, you know, be a month.
If we tentatively approve it, these folks need to get an opportunity to go back and talk to their staffs. And if they're concerned, we can take them up in January, at least we're a little further down the road.
if we approve this, right, we can always come back and revisit, right? I would feel more comfortable taking action one way or another. So,
I don't think, just knowing my folks, particularly my building, I just don't think it's an issue with that. I think they're very concerned about safety.
So then it makes sense to utilize that day as exempt. We have 185, why not use some reason that way? In fact, we have the hours.
It's not gonna be plenty of hours, we'll have enough hours anyways to take these 6 off. All right,
Want a motion?
motion.
Okay, I make a motion that we dedicate February 11th on the, as New Hampshire Primary Day as a professional development day for the 3 schools.
You want to just leave it, New Hampshire's primary day, in case they decide to move it.
Yeah.
This is New Hampshire.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
not a bad idea, the whole thing could, depending on South Carolina or somebody else has.
Exactly, I just don't want extra.
New Hampshire primary day.
Not the 11th. Okay.
Developing, whatever, yeah.
Okay. Gene, second.
Second.
Any other questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then if there is an issue, that's the wish.
Bring it back, certainly. Get it over Patty. Make sure it's going over.
Yeah, but and who will take the lead in notifying the parents? How does that work? Because this is gonna be a dramatic change to the.
A lot of times, Paul and Dan will put out something to the whole
Okay.
group, because
Yeah.
they can do
Yeah.
that. So that makes sure we get all the, because Charlie Chuck Fest and everybody's gonna be.
Right, and that's the other thing too, that those boards need to be notified.
Or you heard, one too many times to talk about it.
CRTC would be an issue, those students, I think traditionally been allowed to go, if they can, that's our transportation.
Do we provide transportation for the days that CRTC is in session, we do not?
No,
I don't believe we do.
no,
Okay.
no, both my sons are done, those days that we're down and they're out. You can take your child
You
there
can go, but.
and they can go, but
Okay.
just Pembroke doesn't provide transportation for that.
Okay.
Okay, Dan, I think you're up. Yeah, we, administrators went to 7 schools just prior to Thanksgiving to, do our first introduction, for our 8th grade parents and students. We've also had what I call experts in the field. We had our current students there from the sending town. They kind of facilitated the Q&A session with students, with the help of, guidance counselors from the Senate school as well as ours, so that was very helpful. We've had, as Ryan alluded to earlier, we've had a number of student service-oriented projects going on, to include what Student Senate's doing. Key Club had a Thanksgiving dinner that they annually do, where they serve Thanksgiving to elderly citizens in the community. It's always well attended. We have our National Honor Society Toys for Tot Scribe this Friday, complete with our staff versus students basketball game. I will not be participating in that. Amy's production of Beauty and the Beast went off without a hitch. That went very well.
Really well attended.
Yeah,
This
very
night I
well.
was there.
Yeah. Robotics hosted a high school and a middle school tournament this past weekend. That went very well. And we have 5 student musicians that were, given the, recognition of Allstate this year, which is great. And we have our winter concert next Tuesday, and if you go, I think you'll be very impressed with, what's been done. Scott's obviously built up a good program over the past few years, and I think in the short time, Sarah Evans has been with us, she's made great growth in that program.
Did you have paddle this weekend? Paddle festival out there, 2 days, right? 2 days, usually it's one is Saturday, but they've been 2 days. Good. Anything, Dan? Good, excellent. And everyone's favorite topic, 4B, 2021 budget.
Okay, good.
So, are you gonna give us the high point changes last time?
Yep, there really weren't, many changes. I've done the same thing as I've done in the past. where I've highlighted the sections in yellow. The changes that occurred between, the last time you received the budget and now are three different items. One was, the increases that you voted on the last meeting. The second item was, longevity, that has been added. And the third piece that has been added are the retirements that have been submitted. Which we'll also discuss in a moment. So, if you wanna turn to page 25, you can see the new ending balance. You'll notice there is a significant change. The retirement was the bulk of that. It not only covers the retirements that, you may approve tonight, but it also prior year retirees, their benefit also comes into play, and that hasn't been included yet, because we are waiting for the health benefit for that. So that has now been included.
People want to know what we sat the last time? Last meeting, people want to know difference money-wise?
Sure.
About $530,000. So move the operating budget from a 3.09% increase to a 5.2%. Which I think we kind of knew, 5.28 in the operating budget. I think we knew, you weren't here last time,
No.
I think we had a generalized sense of that was the case.
What was the dollar?
The difference?
Yeah.
About $30,000, $40,000? I know, no, I'm sorry, Gene.
Yeah.
I'm tired, but wow.
$540,000. A little over half a million.
Of that amount, how much was retirement?
There was, 183 from prior retirement, and then, for this one, that we made this evening, it is 126 in change. That's why when I say the bulk of that increase is the retirement.
Three or nine different retirements, the rest of it is salary increases.
We had the longevity, and then we had, the increases that we had voted in. I believe that
Basically
was
the same,
a pool of 100. Yeah.
approximately 16% of the increase, as opposed to they're no longer
With us.
teaching.
Yeah.
And the contractual.
Yeah, no, and I understand that,
But it's a big chunk of change.
but that's basically done as a fixed cost.
Yep, we just have no control over it. Yep.
I almost fell out of my seat.
So we need to take action on this,
Yep.
unless we want to come back on the 16th and talk about it some more.
The other pieces I've included in this packet, are the high school tuition enrollment, and the estimated revenue, as well as the tax impact. So the tax impact on the very back page, if you flip all the way to the back. The good news is that, in revenue, we are gonna receive an additional almost $824,000 additional in LCCA. So that's a big help.
But that's a one-time thing.
It is,
so-
yes, it is, yes. Well, it was a two times, you got one,
Right.
a lump sum this year, and then you get some next year, so.
Okay.
So that revenue will be an offset.
For next year, yes.
We can't really spend that
Right.
money. We didn't, yeah. So
So you
that
have
should have
some-
a taxes, or a tax rate,
It did this year, yep, the
it
offset,
should next year as well,
well, it's offsetting your budget right now.
right.
So depending on what surplus you might have at the end of the year would offset. Yep, would offset it. But the amount that you received for this year did defray taxes for those taxes. That's why it was. That's it for that.
If I understand the minutes correctly, there wasn't a last time. Paul indicated that he could absorb, the need for additional, student services staff within the existing budget?
One additional body, so.
One.
But yes, within,
Okay, but I
within the
mean,
existing staff.
based
That's
on, okay, so that's still an accurate statement.
Yep.
Because, I mean, based on, it seems to be a priority need. So if that changes, I think we need to make sure that that position is filled. Thank you.
So we're looking at this current budget being impacted to all the tax rate. We can hit about 10%. Tax rate is what, 21 or 23? 23?
23.50.
So it'll be about 8 or 9%. The tax rate.
And then that rate is, 23.58. And that's, it's great that we get extra revenue, but it does cause that fluctuation in the tax rate that drives up the increase for the following year.
I mean, I think when we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, it was 14. It's probably less than what you.
I do have the revenue in here, as well, and I've given you some backup for that. This year, I estimated, 92% instead of 90. I did go up a little bit because I had some data now, because I've been collecting data. In looking at the trend, it looks like we approximately lose about 50 students a year, a little bit less here and there. And this definitely covers that. The other thing, is that when I estimated what the tuition would be, back in September, for next year, the enrollment was lower than what it is anticipated to be next year. So that rate actually potentially could be higher, which means Pembroke would benefit from that, should the enrollment stay around what we estimate. Originally, I had, was a rate that all the districts have received is $13,164.58. Independent off the chart that I gave you on page 33, it could come in more around 13,000. That's obviously as if there were no changes, you're looking at what we had today. I did not use the 13,267 when estimating for Pembroke. I stayed with the estimated tuition I gave to the district, to be on the safe side. I've also calculated in some, extra revenue in case there is a reconciliation for this year. I calculated in about approximately 65,000, which would be calculated to approximately 5 students. Because we don't only have to think about what students we're losing during that year, but we also have to think about the students we potentially are losing this year if there's any reconciliation. So I did put some, I did make a reduction for that.
Do we have total student counts for Pembroke?
Yes, and I did include the revenue chart of where we are today. On page 31, we have, for total students, it looks like approximately 759 students as of, November 15th. This is just a PA. That's just a PA, I don't know about the rest of it.
I'm looking for, total Pembroke students, because I think it may be an important number to bring up when we go to budget. Because if we've got an increase of, you increased 94 students, something to that effect. If we have a net increase of whatever it is, students in Pembroke, we know that these students cost $10,000 a piece. If we got 90 of them, that's $900,000. But it's just a piece of information we pull out.
And I have 330 tomorrow. I've got a registration in place.
So, I mean, those are the numbers that you and Andy may want when we go up front budget, just to give a sense of
bizarre. Okay, great. And I will be working with, he's putting together some slides, and then Andy will be meeting with us to review those before next week.
Who's gonna present this? Is it gonna be you or a combination of the two?
I'm not sure, it sounds like when Andy spoke with me that he was gonna present it, and then we were there as
And that's
additional.
kind of the approach we've taken, I think,
That's what we did
few
last
years.
year, and it was, I felt like it really worked. We gave them all the meat and potatoes right up front,
Yep.
and I really feel like that helped pave the path of whatever additional questions might come up. But we really gave them it all right in the beginning, and I think it answered a lot of questions right in the beginning.
Yeah, I think we kept it short and sweet, here's the meat and potatoes of the deal, without getting into math textbooks or, you know, new goalposts or whatever else may be in this budget.
Right, I mean,
They wanna ask
so
about
much
it, great,
detail.
but, yeah, I think short and sweet, give them the meat and potatoes and, so, I'm sure you did a great job. So, okay. Any other questions on the budget? People wanna make recommendations, changes? Someone wanna make a motion to move this budget? Question?
Make a motion to accept the budget and move to the budget committee.
Second.
Any other questions, comments? No? All in favor? Aye.
Should we, sorry.
Go ahead.
I know. We should have waited to make this comment until after we did it. But should we also notate that we took this type of an action, I mean, three of us, two of us, are moving a, $25 million budget without two members here. But I think it needs to be noted someplace that we had to take that action to meet the timeline established by the budget committee. That ordinarily, obviously, if you're dealing with a budget or anything with this kind of gravity, we would wait and have a full board present. But we don't have that luxury because of the budget.
And we will have an opportunity to figure this through the process as well.
Right.
This is
But we certainly,
first draft, whether we change, decide to change or not,
so we want to be able to
Future discussion.
give it to the budget committee so that they can act in a timely fashion.
I'm sure Peggy's got that written all down over there.
Yeah.
Okay, we move on to policy review, we're gonna not, is there anything she really wanted done here?
She did not state that there was a necessity to have them done.
I generally would be
There was
more comfortable with having it here.
JLF was,
Yeah,
that was the one we were,
seems like that should.
keeps getting kicked down the
Yeah.
road.
Okay.
I did print them out, I don't know, were there any
Do we have changes to
I mean,
JLF?
there were some red
I mean,
lines.
we can make a motion to approve it. Seems like
Yeah. I
the one that really should get
Do you have
approved.
a quick copy?
I do, right here.
Okay, yeah, thanks. So we have. I've got it right here. Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm sure that there was.
But there aren't any changes as far as you know.
There didn't look like there were any
No.
changes on that one, I did check it out. Oh,
That one there, I believe, got no changes. Some of the other ones do.
one of the
that one
others
doesn't.
did.
Yeah, one of the others is pretty good.
So basically, any reports have to go to the principals, and then be, right, is that how?
My understanding is that any staff member that, suspects any of these
Staff is to make.
is the staff actually is to make the call. And then when you report that,
Okay.
that would, I don't know if it goes to the principal, but the principal will then make a report to the superintendent, writing, and to display up their request. I can tell you that I've been working on this a little bit because it's a little bit of a hot spot, for staff. And I think, trying to come up with a clear procedure is something that I've certainly been working on. Because while it's not really a new idea for mandatory reporters, the process of this would change. So we're trying to put into a process that, would be consistent with it. So the biggest difference that I see is the staff are now the ones making the call, as before they may recommend it to administrators.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was just trying to clarify.
Yeah. And it's gonna be written documents.
Now, will all three buildings have the same policy process?
We will.
We will, I shared with Patty a document that I grabbed from another school, and modified it just to look and see what it looked like, so there would be a, step-by-step information,
Right.
phone call, signature, all that type of stuff, so, we'll talk about having a consistent.
I was just gonna say, cause something like that makes sense, that it would be consistent in all three buildings for staff.
Right.
Because staff needs to be aware in very clear terms what their responsibility is.
Right.
So,
There's trainings that you can have come in, we've had one staff member go to a training, so, we're just trying to get, I started that process beyond in anticipation of this, because I think it's been a hot button in the building, so I wanted to kind of address it right away, so we'll just be a good item for PD Day.
yeah,
Certainly.
yeah, good thinking.
The other question I have is concerning, because when we say staff, it means all staff, right? Custodial to faculty to, administrative. And also, if I'm understanding it correctly, any contractors that may be, it's kind of the gist I got, anybody who may also be in the school. I was trying to find the.
I'm not sure about contractors.
Yeah, that's.
I thought I read this, and I don't know if I was. Each employee, designated volunteer, or contracted service provider.
Yeah, that would be.
Speech path.
Oh, just so.
But that's the
Not like the
principal or the building supervisor.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like the electrician or something.
Okay,
Right.
alright. I couldn't understand how you get that across to them.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although, it says statutory mandated policies. You know,
So they say the employee of the school district.
not in the beginning, they don't start, it's not until the second paragraph that there's the additional punishment or consequences for a credentialed, holder. Person who holds credentials, could risk their credentials if they don't take action.
Correct.
But the first paragraph implies that anybody has to, report suspected abuse.
Paraprofessionals, coaches.
Doesn't even, it just says, under New Hampshire law, every person who has a reason to suspect that a child, not every person who's a school employee, every person who's in the building, just every person. And then the second paragraph addresses if you're a paraprofessional and you're credentialed, or you're a teacher or a principal, and you don't report, then there is the risk of the
I
credential.
think that's why the process is really important, so that we know, if somebody, from what I understand, that somebody would come to me and they say, look, I'm suspecting such and such, such and such. It's not up to me to convince them one way or the other, so this is what we're going to do.
This is what,
And you're going to document it here, you're going to make that phone call, I'll sit here with you while you do it. And then we'll take that document, and administration will sign it and pass it on. But so as long as we have, so if it is an electrician that sees something, hears something, they would say, what do I do? I just saw this, what was me? Sit down, we will fill this out, and we'll make that call.
I think Dan, which goes back to Dan's comment that maybe that's a great use of the PD time at the earlier level.
I started it with staff, because it's it's more than just the process, we have to be able to identify what we're looking at.
Right. And maybe we'll, you know, we can
What
get some
definitions going
professionals
on,
in.
you know, there's educational, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things.
Just from a, CYA standpoint, I generally probably use the same contractors, outside contractors all the time.
Educationally, or?
I'm talking about
Electricians.
electricians, plumbers, HVAC.
For the most part.
So, moving forward, a copy of this maybe should be forwarded to those companies, and so they can, I mean, a plumber's gonna have a different, demeanor going into, some sort of facility versus a school, and this is just something we can put forward to them so they know, also covers our bases if something should occur.
I mean, it's typically, student contact is not encouraged.
No, I understand that, but they see, and,
Yeah,
it would be just as, from that standpoint, just to be able to cover, our bases if something does arise. They do see something, they know that they should come to the principal or a staff member in the school.
right.
To Josh, whoever, and moving forward. Obviously, they're not trained as you or the faculty would be, but if something looks out of place, they should be encouraged to say something. There is.
Guess we'll have to make a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a
Hold on.
I'll make a motion that we approve, policy JRF, reporting child abuse and neglect.
Second.
Any other questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think you can do it, Michelle.
PK, manifest process, we really already do this.
So you're okay with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
we,
Make a motion that we approve
DK.
DK,
Yeah,
manifest
manifest process,
Okay.
Most of that anyway.
yeah, you're all following
I
that.
was gonna say,
Just a file.
yeah.
Yep. Any motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You go with that one for now?
Yeah, third reading, I don't know if we have or not.
I'd like to hold up on JICD.
Okay.
There was some
Yeah,
conversation that I
there
wanted
was a bunch of,
Yeah,
um,
and I would also like to hold up on GBD.
GBD. Yeah. Either one, that's really good.
Purchasing policy, do you want to?
Yeah, never haven't read it.
Okay, then let's not.
yeah, I haven't read through this, I would like to read through just.
Yeah, perfect.
So, we hold off on the
We're gonna hold up on that?
Okay.
But we did too.
We did too.
We haven't approved that many. Well, it was warm.
Agenda item 6, information items.
I don't have it.
Has everything?
I will not be able to attend tomorrow night's meeting because I am taking my 92-year-old mother out for her birthday.
All right.
Boston, I had no idea. And not that I wouldn't love to spend quality time at the budget committee meeting,
And you can't go.
Yeah, you just know, I can't go. It's,
I'll go.
I mean, it's town,
Town
it's
stuff.
town, it's water, sewer.
Yeah, I saw that on the
everything.
agenda, so
Yeah,
if you want somebody to be there, I'll go, if not.
I don't know if it's necessary.
Okay. I did the CIT thing, I did through all the whole thing.
Usually those ones, they're usually pretty quiet.
yeah, they
Water,
are. and
sewer,
they're very-
I could be wrong with the ambulance, but usually
No,
pretty
even
quiet.
the
Like,
ambulance,
they're all-
yeah.
those three are usually pretty,
Especially
pretty
recently,
quiet.
they come in with books and they come in with numbers, they've got data, they've got, yeah.
I would think. Okay, back down to public comments, agenda item 7. I think we're good.
Josh?
Josh, anything?
If anybody say,
He's giggling.
We did go into non-public session under New Hampshire RSA 91, A, colon 3, Roman numeral 2, A and B, on the public view? No, that's, I don't think we need any of these.
Not unless we get something going at the state level.
Back out of public session, can I get a motion to ratify the CBA?
I make a motion that we ratify the collective bargaining agreement that was negotiated between the Pembroke School Board and the Pembroke Educators Association.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there a motion to accept retirements as presented?
I'll make my knee
Great.
So moved.
I move that we accept the 3 retirements presented.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who approved the, who recommended the CBA?
Any other business? Motion adjourned? Right.
Second.
Wow.
Take it.
Oh, do we have to shut that?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Bruins are 1-0.
Oh,